Welcome back to the IEM Chicago B stream here. We're going to be diving into our last matchup of the night, Luminosity versus Liquid, Ben.
Yeah, so actually a matchup where both teams have actually played against each other fairly recently, if you think about it. NA Pro League, obviously, they do play against each other there. And that series went 1-1 head-to-head. So that's instantly thinking quite a close matchup. However, if you look at seeds, this is 4th or 3rd against 14th. So there's quite a discrepancy there, at least.
Yeah, there is a change in what you'd expect to see. And I think the majority of the focus really is going to be on Liquid for this. In terms of what we expect to see from Liquid overall, they can now have to sort of answer the question, are you able to contend, but also to win? Because we've seen them get so close, time in, time out. We know they can go toe-to-toe with the best teams in the world, but can they fundamentally close out tournaments? Do they have that capability yet? Or are they still in a position where it's going to be quite up and down at times, looking almost as if they defeat themselves or just don't have that mental fortitude to get over the last boundary?
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because if you think back to the TSM team, they were Choke City, they lost loads of tournaments where they got to that final bit, they couldn't get over it. However, when they got over it, although it took a lot of time, they needed a sports psychologist to help them and everything. They got over it, and they're now #1 team in the world, right? They were good enough to get to that far. That last point is the hardest. And the question is, how long are they giving themselves to do it? Because at some point you start thinking, we need to change something. And I'm wondering, is this the event where they finally do break it?
Yeah, actually break through and find that form. Liquid, they need to across the board because they've had a run of good results, getting themselves into positions where it seems like almost they are actually going to rise that trophy up and, you know, assert their dominance. And at this point, it's a prestigious event as well. It's in their home turf. It's a Chicago-based event. It's an IEM as well. So there's a lot of prestige to it. It's one of those where if this was going to be the time we saw a gust really blow Liquid in the right direction, it would need to be now. The stars have aligned for them potentially. And from what we're seeing with results like this coming out from Na'Vi, the teams around them could be faltering to potentially make their lives a little bit easier.
Well, I mean, if you think about the seeds around them, as you mentioned, Na'Vi already have a loss now. FaZe looked troublesome. Astralis, even on a map that they're, what, 18-0 on, making that 19 now. It was 16-8, which you could see holes in the defense. However, that CT side from, obviously, MVP, it was lackluster. But you're starting to think there's potential in some of these games. And this could be that final tournament. Luminosity, though, I don't think it's this kind of team that will be able to knock Liquid off here, because if you think online, sure, 1-1, an even series online is pretty much what you'd give for most of these teams. However, I'm not sure if they're able to do it on this land stage. Although it is best of one, anything can happen. I'm not too sure about it.
That's true. I mean, you have the potential upset factor there of just, it's a best of one. You can try and just come in strong, do something absolutely outrageous that could catch them off guard, but I don't really see it happening. I feel like, it could have been a bit of an anomaly there in the matchup in Pro League. The difference is now in a LAN environment where Liquid are so well versed and equipped to deal with this, is there going to be any potential for that upset? We do have the odds from Betway as well. That's 1.25 to 3.3.
I think that might be the closest odds we've had.
I think so.
LDLC was closer. But that's still relatively close, but not too crazy, though, because it's a clear favourite by a long margin. But it's still surprisingly close, I guess, is what we're thinking, because Liquid, we all know them as a top 5 team in the world, really. But Luminosity, they're a team that are scraping into that top 30 sort of area. You can't think there's much of a challenge for Liquid.
That is true. They definitely need that, I don't know, extra step, something on Luminosity, really, if they actually want to contend here and go toe-to-toe. A victory versus Liquid would be a crazy feat for them to pick up. It's just the likelihood of them actually achieving it. It's a hard matchup for them to face off against, really. At least it is an opponent they've played before. However, that can work one or two ways, really. You have that experience. You can look at the benchmark. Obviously, you can review what you've done in the past when you specifically played them, what errors you had there. You know their map on a little bit more of a personal basis as well through playing them in Pro League. It just comes down to the day on the server, though, really. It's the entire difference of being in that studio versus now being on LAN in that environment where it comes down to the luck of the draw.
I think the thing that Luminosity need to make sure, though, is that they have good performances from both Henny and Lucas. Because those are the two players that everybody will know. Steel, obviously, this is his former team that he's playing against as well in Liquid. But that doesn't factor too much. Steel's your brains of the operation, right? Henny and Lucas, they need to be firing on all cylinders, I think, for them to have a chance here. Because Liquid, they've got so much star power on that team. Naf, Twist, Elige, Nitro even at times. Taco, he's there to support them all. But ultimately, you need to have all your players performing very well, and I don't think it's going to happen for Luminosity. Yeah,
it really is going to have to sort of be a bit of a throwback performance from them and somehow have an incredible game there. And we see that style of play that is quite aggressive at times from them as well, where they might just go for something unorthodox and bold as a little bit of a call. that doesn't really work out versus a team like Liquid. This is one of the sides where that type of strategy isn't really going to catch them off. They're going to be prepared for it. You're going to lose that play. Henny and Lucas could, lose that advantage quite early if we see that more confident, aggressive play style that comes out. And that tends to be when they start winning these sort of games as well, versus a team that should be beating them. If they start to have that upset coming through in effect, they get overconfident and they make misplays.
Yeah, that's the thing with, you mentioned the fact that they played each other before. The fact that Henny and Lucas going for overzealous peaks won't be a surprise to them either. That they'll be expecting it. And that's just, when a team knows you're going to go for these overzealous peaks, that's what you've already lost a big aspect of your own game, especially when you rely on it. And it's kind of worrying, really.
Yeah, because what do they have to fall back on outside of that is the other question as well. What new strategy do you have potentially you could have been building up going into this? And how much prep have they actually done versus the other teams that are going to be in this tournament? Are you prepared? Have you looked into the benchmarks that you could use against a team like Liquid? These are some of the questions that we need sort of answers really once we get into the game on the server. Especially
with that, Liquid are so used to playing better opposition too, that they need to have a playbook that can handle, even if you're getting anti-strike, you can resort something else. So even if Luminosity were already, like as you mentioned, looking at all the benchmarks, they've got so much games to look at from Liquid. They could do so much anti-strike if they wanted to, but you're not going to anti-strike everything. They can almost resort to going crazy plays that they've never done before, but they're just like, we can't do anything else because they've got our playbook pretty much down to a T. But they're just better players individually as well. It feels kind of harsh to say it, but they just are right now. Because Twist, probably looking at him being, a top 10 player in the world right now. Elige, at times, he's a consistent player. He'll always be putting in performances where you can guarantee he'll get a kill or two when he's holding a bomb site. Naf, another player, he started off 2018 so well. Obviously, he's fallen off slowly towards the end of the year, but he's still phenomenal. And Nitro can do the same. Taco, we all know his experience at the game has been a big impact for the team itself. The question is, will he be able to play as well as the others too?
That is the risk, really. It's a team that in terms of firepower is just that far ahead. They've got so much experience, so many stars on that roster that anyone can actually do the brute force of the damage for them. It's not necessarily that the entire squad actually even steps up, because one man could do so much damage alone, which is a bit of a scary point to be in. On the flip side, you have the duo. You do have the twins. Can they perform? Are they going to be able to not only sort of roll with the punches and have those sort of confidence rounds, but in the consistency? Are we going to see that coming out? Because that's the main aspect, right? If we can see Henny and Lucas actually just having pure consistency through and through, that'll be the difference maker. That's where they do start to have these games where they actually begin to lock it down.
Yeah, that's always been the issue with most players who rely on that sort of flashy play, I suppose. Right, you've got players like Kenny, Smuya, all these, typically they're AWPers because that's where you see them go for crazy peaks, and then you get highlight reels, like sort of plays. If you're able to find a level of consistency where you can incorporate that into your own play, right? So like, you only rely on that for 25% of your own kills. That could be fantastic.
Well, we are ready to get underway with the matchup, so enough thinking. Let's see what they do on the actual server. Team Liquid will be starting off on the T side. Luminosity will be the CTs for this one.
So this is different from Luminosity. Look at that, this pistol buy. Steel gets the smoke and a kit, and Yell actually gets grenades himself too. So that's different. That's very different. And they're playing retake towards B, and that's pretty much the only call you can make where it actually works with having the extra grenades available.
Oh,
that's not a good start though.
No, so much damage done there on the early opener. Oh, he goes down as well. Taco going to pop it off as the push comes over towards the B site. Henny, a couple of tags going through. Does actually tag up 2 players. Nearly on the back pass as well for Elige there. Got a re-tap off with that USP. Yell's going to rotate back around to attempt to assist. Nitro just going for that default plant as the bomb should go down.
So this is where those retake grenades should come into effect, right? Yell, 2 flashes, smoke. That should be the checker smoke lined up, I believe. And the B main one coming in. There should be 2 flashes in the site and the retake should come through. However, how do Liquid react? Do they go for the fight or flight? Do they leave the players on site? Taco gets 1, does get taken down. Nitro still on the site. He's been given so much time to stay alive here. They're not even challenging it.
Oh, this is rough as well. Nitro going to run with that. Finds the follow-up frag. Steel, he has the kit, so it's important that he jumps on it soon if they're going to go for this. Yell, absolutely dominating, but unfortunately, the frag has gone through and still has been executed. It's all up to Yell to save the day. Going to fully commit to it. Elige rotates back around, finds the frag with a Glock, and Team Liquid open it up with the first round.
So that round from Luminosity, obviously the retake came in. However, they were so slow to clear the site itself that when Steel finally got on the bomb, the smokes are fading. I can understand you play retake, but you need to be able to get those kills very early, otherwise you're going to lose the round. And Elige, I mentioned him being one of the players who buys the SG and AUG so much. He's straight in with the buy. Yeah,
instantly going in there. Statistically, one of the best players in the world with a weapon. Let's see if he can try and further that, Ben, and carry on popping heads with a creek.
So no investment from Luminosity this round. Just the USPs in play. And you can see Liquid playing it fairly safe, just, you know, going for a bit of a split and pick around, looking around. This could be a very bad peek if they were to peek into Highway. Multiple players in the same box. So this looks like it will be an easy one for Liquid to deal with, though. There's one player in the door. Taco losing the fight towards Highway, or rather Forklift, gets taken down. The AK recovered instantly by Henny. So that's not a good start to the round, though.
No, this has started off awkwardly. But can it get any better? Nitro just holding his foot lightly over the pedal there, waiting to put it down, hit the metal, and go for the all-out aggressive play here towards the A site. As his teammates now back him up in terms of utility, they've got 3 flashbangs, 1 smoke, the double HE and the double Molotov. So they have some crowd control as they will set up. Early damage coming through. They're being tagged. There goes the initial Molotovs and the collection of utility going to be cast over. They are dealing damage, Ben. Mecca's going to fully commit as he stands inside the Molotov and gets burnt to a crisp, but the spray from Henny transferring incredible amounts of damage even to his own teammates. Naf bursts out, finds the first frag with the MP5, trying to slay with it as everyone is being slapped up. Left in quite a precarious position now. It is just Lucas and Yell left to attempt to do something on this A site.
And Yell should be the one just saying, I'm going to save the weapon. But he gives it to Lucas, actually, and then doesn't go for the kills himself. So surely you keep the gun yourself and let Lucas go for the kills then with just a USP.
That would have made more sense.
But instead, I guess his long-term goal here is to go towards A main, maybe pick some players off on the way out. But it could have been done with Lucas, though. That's the thing I'm kind of confused about.
And then he would have had more health to actually find these kills as well. Instead, Yell's pretty much just going to go down to 1 tap from any of these weapons.
Very unusual. But that round was so weird. So on Cash, normally with anti-ecos, you would either group towards B, do an execute onto it, or go towards A and then just molly everything out. Right? That's an easy way of doing things. However, Taco goes towards door, loses the firefight to a USB. On his own, no trade capability, nobody there to even cover his weapon. And then when they're going towards A, Henny did so much damage because of the AK he had from Chuck. Headshot angle, great. But they smoke it so late after they've already lost the player in NAF. And that's just so, I don't know, it was very weird. It was quite poor from Liquid, really. It's quite a worrying sign when you think about things as well. And Luminosity gone for double AWP immediately. So that's quite bold from them. And they're playing 2 towards, well, 1 towards vent, 1 close mid, 1 sandbags, and 1 highway, with 2 AWPs in play. This is an interesting setup, but it looks like Liquid are ready to go towards A. If they were to get into this A bomb site, it could be very bad news, because Luminosity do not have much utility to work with on the retake.
So they set themselves up for it. Start to cast out that utility once again. Steel rotates back around. He's in the elevated angle. Doesn't fully commit to it. Instead, just holds. Tries to wait for his teammates and see if they can get any more of a read. Have 100% confirmation they know this will be the play before they over-rotate and make a mistake.
Quite weird, though, because Liquid, they didn't even get any grenades out of that A side.
No.
It was just the smoke towards highway and then nothing. No noise, nothing. Maybe they thought there was an AWP there. They wanted to delay it a bit. They've only got 1 smoke now available on twists. Lucky for them, they do not go over boost, though, because Yell has been there all around with that AWP, and finally the execute comes through. Steel finally gets a shot off. This smoke even better, really, for this execute. So it will be a 5-man retake. However, Liquid, they still have a smoke available on twists to delay things a bit.
5 versus 5. The retake means everything here. Elige with the Krieg in his hands. Wants an opportunity to actually flex his muscles and show just what he can do with a weapon, as he does normally cause quite a few atrocities. We'll try and peek out. Ben gets first contact, only 1 frag found before the double trade comes through. So left in a 3 versus 3, and this will be a furious firefight to see who actually picks this one up. Nitro nearly going down, but finds the follow-up frag, assisted there by Taco. The MP5 spam will wipe Yell out of existence, and Henny is forced to retreat. Needs to salvage the AWP. So that'll be a 3rd round now accumulated for Team Liquid.
Thing is, you could telegraph that whole round just from the way they were holding mid for so long. Like, I understand mid is a very heavy contention point or contest point, like, for teams. But at some point, you need to give up and make sure you've got the sights. And they played it, they lasted, what, 35 seconds left on the clock. Liquid take the A site. And Luminosity, they don't have enough grenades to even play retake. They don't have enough Molotovs to single out situations or spots. They don't have the smokes to cover the bomb even. They resort to having to now save this open Henny, which isn't, it's not a bad save by any means. But you're now relying on him to do so much this round. Molotov comes out to sandbags, Yell has to reposition. Nobody there to catch him out on the move though. On that, what? That was 3 bullets.
It is ridiculous what he gets up to with this weapon. A leech, a master of the Krieg and the Org. At this point, you might as well just start giving out lessons, Ben.
That's one thing I've never seen CS players go too much towards. When you think about how, like, with League, some people do it. I remember Rattlesnake used to do it.
Rattlesnake did.
Yeah.
Rattlesnake 101 back in the day.
I've had a personal experience of one of those.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You've been coached by the Rattlesnake?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Well then, this play coming in towards the B site. Lucas going to be in position with the Deagle, but can he assert his dominance? Ooh, flurry of misses, but one tasty headshot. However, will it make up for the push that has come through? Oh, the dink already still. He isn't going to be hard enough to fight through that one. Forced to retreat, still continuously tagging him as well on the exit. Lucky to even survive at that point. This has got to be another round for Team Liquid. That's going to be 4-0. And they're finding success no matter what position they're pushed into. They're also starting to build some cash as well. If they carry on winning rounds in this manner, it's going to be very fantastic for them as only 1 casualty here. Nitro has a ton of cash as well. So the best player to actually go down.
Yeah, enough. I was originally going to say he did have an MP5 from the second round. He finally gets to upgrade it to an M4. But it's quite worrying for Luminosity. Like, I understand they had a fluid way or a set way of playing that third round. Taco might get a knife kill. Well, if he wanted to, he definitely could have.
See, that's the opportunity where a knife kill was sound.
Yeah.
Whereas what Dazzle did is outrageous.
It was dapper, just in case, just in case his nice little rep gets destroyed.
Don't want to be tarnished.
Yeah, but that's, you know, that was a situation where it just didn't need to happen as well. It was so odd. I don't know. But Luminosity not got around yet. They go for the double up again. So the last time we saw it, they went for 1 towards B, 1 towards mid. I personally would prefer to have 1 on each site and then have 3 rifles mid. So the question is, what will they do this time? So you can see Yell going towards A, Henny towards B. So this is more like it, but they're going for a 2-on-2, leaving just the 1 player towards mid. And Yell, missing that shot. Could have been a nice opener. The worrying thing is, if you're the only person playing mid, and you play a position like this,
Yeah.
1 flashbang, you're dead. Like if they do the crisscross smoke, for example, and they throw a perfect flashbang through mid or over top, anywhere, it'll fully blind you, and you won't be able to get anything. There's nobody there to even trade you.
That's the thing. It would be fine if you had support, a player playing in towards the vent, or someone else there to at least give you some kind of cover, but from that position, you're very easily removable.
So the sandbag Molotov comes through. Yell is now playing towards highway at least. But I'm wondering, he won't be able to get the trade there. If they go across boost with a single flashbang, it'd be an easy kill. The execute's going to come through. 1 smokes towards the top of highway. And just the 1 player actually on the site. Yell is getting involved at least. But I'm not sure how much he'll be able to do. Steel getting pushed from air angle. And Nekis actually gets that kill.
Yeah, that's huge. Steel able to find himself a double kill as well before he goes down, as Taka will eventually take a bite out of him. It's a 2 versus 4 into the round. They've secured the A site. But can they actually pick this one up? They have no utility left, really, other than a flash and a Molotovs. They're pretty restricted going into this one. As the retake squad arrives, Taco needs to have a huge play. Finds the first, nearly the adjustment on the second, but Lucas will deal with him. And Naf, too exposed. Lucas just sprints in, body slams him down, and picks up the round as he will find the defuse. The first round saved there by Luminosity, as it does go 4-1.
The fact that Steel was able to find 2 kills just then changes the way that round could have played out. Because the fact he was able to get... Obviously, he'll get the first one, fine. But surely you trade him immediately. He's on top of the red. Like, that's such an open spot. And if Elige had perhaps played that role a bit more lurker style on top of boost, it might have been completely different too. Because he would have caught Neckers on the rotate out. There's no way he actually gets the kill on you that way. But a bit too aggressive, perhaps, from Elige. Goes straight back again, though, with that same buy. And Yell really likes AWPing the sandbags. Maybe that's why we've been seeing Liquid go for the Molotov straight from the get-go a lot.
Could have been. I've seen him in this position quite a few times here. You imagine their previous matchup as well, that could have been the same. So they're going to go for this bold boost. Elige up on the high angle, pairing over with a Krieg. Normally you see this done with a Scout or an AWP.
Yeah, it's still one shot distance with that weapon. So smoke towards Z, thrown out. And usually we'd see that sandbag Molotov come in. However, not this round. There was close Molotov coming in instead. Neck is forced to reposition. The question is, do they expect the players for sandbags still? The Molotov actually lands on there as well, but Elige still got the kill.
Yell takes a little bit of damage. Was forced to extinguish it. Still holding, focusing towards that angle, expecting Elige to re-peek him. The scary factor is, though, Elige normally wins these firefights, especially with a Krieg in his hands. And they've done a lot of damage in the early game in terms of the mine games and restricting utility and forcing it out of hands of Luminosity. And they've put them into quite a topsy-turvy position with only 30 seconds left into the round. No mid-control is established whatsoever, and they've allowed them out.
And it looks like they're going towards B. Lucas and Henny, brothers, need to be set in play here. They need to do so well. Limited time. If they delay it long enough, they can win the round. Still thinking he's going towards A, but that's not a good kill to start off with.
Henny with one, nearly the adjustment on the second, will be able to find himself 2 frags. The Hellfire coming through them, but he needs to slap them all down. Quick smart will be able to get the backstab off. Yell arrives on the scene and punishes with the AWP. Henny finds himself the 4K. The stationary AWPer sits in position like a turret. One after another, just rips him a new one. Huge play from Henny there to win him that round. Bring himself up now to a 7-3. And that'll be a 4-2 scoreline in favor of Team Liquid still. Pause coming out for Team Liquid, though. Their first tack of the game.
That's probably coming through because of the buy that they do have at hand. You can see the money. It's quite limited on Twists and Naf. Both players not able to get an AK. Well, Twists already bought armor, so he can still get the AK out. However, Naf, he'll be restricted to potentially an SMG. Nitro can get a rifle out if he wants to. Elige has already accepted he's on a Tech 9. And they're probably wondering, how do we work around? Because it looks like Luminosity, they're so reliant on getting 2 AWPs in play. And that's obviously a very costly investment. However, when you get players like Henny just then popping off 4 kills on the site, he needed to get at least 2. And from that, obviously, they do win the round. The question is, what can Liquid do to isolate the AWPers or catch them off?
Round 7. Team Liquid, can they try and instantly bite back? The double AWP setup from Luminosity looking effective there. It found all of the frags into that prior round. Yell getting 1 and the other 4 being found by Henny. Ooh, Taco will challenge him. Spots him out, but doesn't actually take him down.
So Henny missed the shot. Smoke on the entrance done by Twists, I believe. And Taco repositions entirely. Yell gets the kills towards the lead, but it's traded up by Nitro. So in terms of map control, it's actually pretty much split down the middle right here, due to that kill. But you're thinking Yell, he needs to get at least 2 here. He's playing so close. The flash has absolutely destroyed him as well. They're trying to bait the shot out, but he's not even playing towards quad or anything. He's not stereotypical AWPer.
Oh, it's rough as well. Shoots straight between the middle of both of them. Ben Naf gets the opportunity for a headshot, and he does not dilly-dally when he has an opportunity. Strikes him down with the back of his hand, looking for more, as the frag should surely start to flood through. Neck is in quite an awkward predicament there. Naf just Molotovs the forklift. I guess it wronged him in a previous life, as we fall into a 2 versus 1 now. Taco trying to shut them down whilst his teammate wanted to end the rise of the machines. Henny will end the rise of Team Liquid. Will finish him off and defuse the bomb. Scoreline goes 4-3.
A very awkward one. I mean, the fact that Neck was able to stay alive so long, I guess, at forklift.
And Naf went, I'll Molotov it, that'll kill him.
If he was dead already is the crazy thing, isn't it? It was just like, what?
Yeah.
If he wasn't killed by Lucas, he was going to be killed by his own Molotov just then, that's for sure. But Luminosity, they're getting into this game, but Liquid, they keep getting quite close to taking the round. So they keep buying back in. You can see Luminosity, they don't have much money left. They've only got the 1 AWP this time as well. And that does mean, Liquid, if they were to win a round, Luminosity would be stuck with a reset. It's that battle of attrition again on cash. We saw it in a game a few weeks ago in Pro League. If you buy too much into it, you start thinking, at some point, we'll win the round and actually get 2 in a row, and we'll have plenty of people alive. So we're back in with a 2-on-2 setup from Luminosity. Again, the solo player towards mid. Last time Elige was unable to get the kill, he actually drops off a boost just to do the smoke. However, there's so much noise towards A. This execute, it's only Steel on the site. Yell's going to be arriving late as well. Oh, this is an interesting angle.
Ooh, Elige somehow actually fights through the pain there, bites the bullet, and Elige Yell. Still and Nekis get a kill apiece, but the trades are relatively rapid, and we now fall into a 3 versus 2 as the site control has been taken. Taco can start to plant the bomb, the rotate will come around. Henny fires off a warning shot. Quite exposed, though. Does have support of Lucas and his brother. Can this squad do some damage? They push up, Twists goes for the play, but the shot off the back of the flashbang anyway takes him down. They're left into a 2 versus 2, and this round is strapped. It could go either way. Henny hitting a ridiculous amount of shots, but it would be lunacy if he could somehow pick this one up and win another round for Luminosity. Taco and Henny playing ring around the rosies. He's going to boost up into the elevated angle. He had the opportunity. That was the chance. Misses it and does go down. Taco going to try and save that AWP, but exits out. And that'll be a 5-3 scoreline. But these rounds coming down to Henny trying to clutch it out in the last second, Ben. You can be explosive, you can be an impact player, but just constantly having the odds stacked against him.
It's been the Twins show, really, hasn't it? It's both of them having to fight back due to that A site being quite underwhelming, I suppose. But as well as that Taco on the other side of things, he's got 11 kills too. A player who you wouldn't normally think he'd be top of the scoreboard, purely because he's more of a entry fragger in the sporty way as well. But thus far, doing quite well. And Luminosity, they go for a half buy. It's not even a full investment. Yell decides to save some money. Steel couldn't get anything else. Although he could have got a kit, that's for sure. Even if he had a smoke, he could still get a kit. Decides against it though. So Luminosity, this is the round. If they lose this one, they'll be on another eco, followed by potentially a second one as well. So this scoreline could go crazily out of order for them.
Steel in position with his UMP. The Molotov will go down behind him, starts to fall back. The cheeky flashbang goes out as the site is ignited, and Nitro looks to kick it off with a spray down on Yell. More aggression there, but Neki is running straight through the smoke, was still blind by the time he had arrived, and Nitro has done all of the damage just on his Todd Ben. 3 frags found, and looks for more. Once again, it's just the Twins that remain, armed with a Scout and a Deagle. But can this troop achieve anything? The peak comes around. They're just getting tagged. Elige will be ended, so no chance for the 5K for him. But in reality, what do they want to do? Lucas probably should save that armor.
If he can. There's still another 10, 15 seconds here. The bomb has yet to explode. But I don't know why. Liquid, they don't need to force this, I don't think. Their value is so much higher. I understand Twist can go for the end of the kill, because he has that $600 possibility, and he might catch Henny off as well. So he gets both kills. Obviously, he's hunting with an SMG. That's perfectly fine. However, the fact they've lost those guns, this is another eco round. We're going to be looking at 7-3 unless something goes crazily in Luminosity's favour. And the scoreline is getting worrying. That T-side and Cash, you can easily run rampant over your opponent.
It's that momentum you start to build as well. That's the difference maker. And Team Liquid, they're looking hot. Everyone's popping off. Nitro having a nice round. Elige across the board has been very effective. As we're diving straight back into it, an aggressive play towards mid, and they're struggling to get this boost off, Ben. By the time they actually get into the elevated angle to peer above the smoke, they see nothing, and the only thing they get for it is one dead twin.
Yeah, very unfortunately, they don't know the actual correct sitting spot for the boost.
Yeah.
And Taco dealing with those 3 players pushing into A main very easily, I think it's fair to say.
It was nice. It was crisp.
Not much bullets used, not much panic either.
Vintage Taco on display.
So they're only able to afford the 1 AWP on the Luminosity side right here. So Henny, considering how much success he's had with it, surely you're giving it away to him. Tactical time is going to be called because they realise, well, we only have 1 AWP here. Yell bought it himself and he has no armour. So technically that should mean Henny should have to go his rifle himself, but you just got to be thinking, you won rounds because of that AWP on Henny, but you're now having to put him on a rifle.
And his impact has been huge as well. That's the difference, is we saw 1 round 4K, 1 round 2K. You know, he's actually having a large impact into the game. Yell, a lot of the time he's been isolated. They know where he plays. They have a very clear understanding of what he does and what the direct counter to that is.
Yeah, it's worrying though, especially because he still keeps going there.
Just over and over again.
And even when he puts the Molotov out, they Molotov it again, just because they realise, okay, he must be there then. He'll probably go back to it. Let's just do it again. And when you've got a style of play where people can do that, or they know, it's very worrying. Like he's going somewhere else this time, towards the A side of the map at least. It's not going to be towards mid. They're going to leave that 2-on-2 setup again. Lucas and Henny taking a firefight towards B main there, losing in terms of damage.
Yeah, damage inflicted on them. Steel brought down to 86 HP. Lucas on 42 into this round. And this is early doors as well. The round's only just begun. 1 minute and 25 seconds still on the clock as Team Liquid just go for this standard default they've been running. They run the clock down very late. They forced out a lot of utility from Luminosity into the previous rounds, and they normally inflict a lot of damage and start to go for the call into the late round. And Luminosity, they've struggled against that. Those quick second decisions, you can see where it turns into absolute chaos when the site push comes through.
So Steel just flashed mid for them to take a peek, but they saw nothing. So Liquid, they keep doing the same default over and over again. One player in boost, they also sandbags, also vent. And then from that, they'll go for a delay take towards one of the bomb sites. Question is, will Luminosity be able to hold it back, though? Yell's got a main control, I believe, due to this spot on the actual toxic barrels. So if they go towards A, they should have an early call for it, at the very least. Smoke's coming in. Towards mid 2, the players will go. Twists. He was debating it there. Very close to taking the peak. 25 seconds left. They need to go somewhere. And surely A is the call.
Twists. Goes for the first face. Will be taken down by Yell. Taco looks to try and do some damage here. Yell actually having a good round with the AWP. The rotate comes around. A Legion Co do arrive on the scene, but are they too late? The delayed push means that chaos has ensued, not in favor of their side. Yell getting himself a hat trick of frags in the round. Posted up from the close position, just acting like a gangster, Ben.
Yeah, the fact he got the bomb down in A main, there was just simply not enough time left from Liquid. And one thing I've noticed with the way they're doing their default, whoever's the best B spawn, if it's not Twists, they'll go towards B and make sure they've got control towards that toxic barrel area. Because it happened once early on with Taco. He went there, took the fight, and then Twists took over when he actually arrived. Maybe it's just a prevention in case Luminosity go for a double push towards B, perhaps. Which actually might be the call in this situation. Because obviously Henny and Lucas, they do play quite aggressively. If you're able to catch them out, that's 2 of the major firepower players gone. So perhaps a B execute might be the call here. Liquid playing a bit more towards that B site. Luminosity recognised as well that A site has been targeted when they have lost rounds. So Luminosity, they're fully playing split though. Like there's no mid player. It means that if you lose one of the sides, you're probably saving. And that's such a big risk. Even more so when you've only got a flash available on the B site players. Ooh. Oh, that Molotov's missed.
That's not ideal. That would have forced Henny out of position actually as well, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Henny goes down. The havoc that has already been created from either side here, just commotion across the board. The nade's going to be rolled into the player close towards headshot. Legion take a ton of damage from that, but instead repositions, finds the kill. Bomb's going to go down. Still casts out nades once again. Elite just really been through the wars here, Ben. So much splash damage done to him just off utility alone, leaving them in a 3 versus 2. Yell and Steel, the last 2 CTs that remain, debating what they do into this round as time ticks away. They have 1 kit, and they have a small amount of utility, but it looks like they are just going to cast this one away. That'll be an 8-4 scoreline. Luminosity, again, in the later stages of a round, going for a delayed push, winning it off the back of it. Even with so many small misplays there. The Molotov misses, they go before the flash. They just look confused quite rapidly throughout that round as well. Taco actually goes down to Steel at the end there.
Yeah, it's an interesting round, that's for sure. Especially on that B-side defense, they got gifted a kill. Like, you know, it was before the smoke bloom, before the flash bloomed as well. Like, it was a double up. And the fact that Henny didn't get a kill on site, it could have been very different. That's for sure. And Luminosity, they have to look at the money now. They realise we can't really buy into this. It's not actually worth it. We'll keep the 2 guns alive. In fact, that's why the tactical's coming in. It must be why. Because you've got Yell on an AWP. He's glass cannon right now. Even though he lived on that round, he had 3 kills. He actually dropped the gun across and bought grenades instead. So you got to be thinking, how do you do this buy if you are going to do it? I don't think you do. I don't think it's worth it. I think if you lose this one, you take another eco and you go for a full buy in the last round to get a 10-5, if anything. And then see what you do on the T side, because this map is T-sided. It's about, I'd say, 66% T-sided. So if you just lose the half 10-5, that sounds about right. But instead, you can see the buys coming through. It's an interesting one. It's a bold call, because you are now risking potentially even 11-4 here. Should you not actually do much with the extra weapons you bought in. So you've got 2 UMPs and a Deagle invested in extra. And Liquid, they're going for something a bit quicker now. Straight out mid.
Ooh, they bound straight out. Elite will find that frag, takes down Neckers as he is able to lay him with a CZ, with a Krieg rather. Naf finds up the follow-up headshot as well onto Lucas, but still bites back. And this now leaves him in a bit of a predicament. They're trapped towards mid. They chase to try and find the frag, but Twist won't be able to actually secure it. 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the clock as he Molotov's off towards Z. They do have the firepower advantage, and they outnumber them quite heavily as well. Luminosity with only 3 players remaining here.
It's very weird on Steel. He's cleaning Z, so he's actually not seen any players out mid. He will not know that Elige is still close to mid vent. And Steel's now making the move as well. He's going to go close to this vent. I don't think Elige will expect this, especially with the timing. Doesn't have a chance. But that means that B is probably empty, which is what the push will come through with. Even before the smoke's gone through the flashes, they go straight in. But now they have to wait for those Molotovs.
Nitro, you can go for the bomb plant back on default. It's a 3-on-3 here. 40 seconds as that bomb will be planted. Nitro!
He saw one of them, a radar, 100%.
He should have a read on this. He's going to try and counter it. Plays in the close position just on the headshot angle. He's expecting it, but it depends on the timing. Luckily, he gets one. Tried to reposition to get the second. And Twists. Waiting for the push here to come around. Taco playing quite far back as well. Henny was relatively low, so he gets that first frag. And Steel misses the shot. Can't kneecap him, Ben. It's got to be the save. That's going to go 9-4. Still, he might have had 3 frags into the round, but it does not matter. When it comes down to the crunch, Nitro was able to save the day. And that is another round picked up for Team Liquid here.
Yeah, not quite working out for them. Steel keeps the AWP in play at least. So that's something they can keep into this round. But how, like, do you even survive with it, is the other question here. Because say you lose this one, 10-4. If you manage to keep the AWP, you've done very well through that. Because you can see the money. I don't think they can afford it next round, even if somebody needs to get like 3 kills just to guarantee it. So Steel buys a Molotov and a smoke to add to his head armor as well as a kit. And that was a very big change of pace from Liquid. Like, they've not gone through mid, like on the floor at least, all game. So quite a surprise. And they go back to the slow style play. You can see Twists playing pretty much from T-spawn as well as Elige on that truck. Or next to it, rather. So the fact they're playing this a lot slower, they're being wary because they don't really know what kind of buy will be coming through. They know the AWP got saved. But they don't know if Luminosity will simply have just forced straight back in. It's quite crazy as well that Liquid are winning like this. This has been a quiet game from Twists as well. He's only 5 for 7.
Ooh, so Yell goes for the info play, spots out what's going on, but here comes the push. Steel from the elevated angle, able to assault one man, but the battery comes back against them. Steel in position now, surely should have found the follow-up, but goes down. Illegal, start to assault and decimate, Ben. Disgusting stuff done with that Krieg, and finally it will be Taco to eliminate Lucas and round it out to a 10-4 scoreline. Looking like this has got to favour Team Liquid so much at the end of the first half, Ben. There's no way. We're going into round 15 now. The rebuy will come back out. We are seeing the double up set up once more. One on Yell, one on Henny. Henny has been tremendous with the weapon. Quite a few select highlight plays towards the B site.
Yeah, so he actually does go for the glass cannon, which... fair enough, he's made it work before, that's fine. Yell gets given the AWP on the other side of things. And it looks like they're going to throw 2 people into A main, and they've taken so much damage on the way in, but they still get the kill. And Neckers, he didn't need to make that peek. That's so weird. An unneeded play, and Taco gets the trade too. Yell's the only man on the safe bomb site, and he's got an AWP. needs to go absolutely massive.
Yeah, Yell with one frag, but can he do any more? The Molotov will try and force him out of position. Takes a ton of damage. Nitro will be able to get the backstab off onto him as well. There is an instant trade from Lucas. So it is the twins that remain. Lucas and Henny versus Twists and Naf. As they go for this push out towards the site. Naf will be able to secure the bomb plant. Twists hides in position, just waiting by forklift. Oh, Henny, if he would have connected the shot, it could have been a difference maker. Instead, he loses his teammate and brother in arms there. And finally, he will meet his maker as well. Twists with the annihilation, slaps him down with the AK. That is an 11-4 half. There is more to come after break. And we're back, everybody, with Team Liquid facing off versus Luminosity Gaming here in the IEM Chicago B stream. The best of one openers here for the group. And it is seeming like Team Liquid will be able to swan their way through quite proudly and pick this one up, Ben. They are leading and looking dominant in a majority of the rounds. Taco having quite a performance as well, 17-8 currently.
Yes, Mrama, a very strong game against his fellow countryman. Luminosity, they go for the two players with grenades, Yell and Steel. 2 smokes available, 2 flashes, and a Molotov. So it's quite rare we see the Molotov come into play, especially on a map like Cash, it's a bit of an unusual one. And Henny, they're taking such an interesting fight by here, and Lige has been dinked as well as Twists going down.
So they've got control of that A site now. They can already slide their way out. The response is there. Lige on the elevated angle. Oh, the fadeaway, Ben. The filth coming out of this young man is absolutely ridiculous.
The fact he's got that kill on 12 HP is even crazier. Taco from behind gets another. He's adding to this portfolio. He's doing so well so far. They stopped the plant as well. It's only now on Neckers. He needs to get a 5-man to win this round.
Well, he'll find the first kill. And that has brought him up to 3 in his total tally. But how many more men can he slay? The answer will be none. Nitro will shut him down. And that will be a pistol round that seemed like it was going to go to the camp of Luminosity, being sent straight over to Team Liquid, bringing them to a 12-4 scoreline now and putting them into a position to potentially close this game down before Luminosity really have a chance on their T side.
Yeah, I do like that move from Liquid, sorry. So they basically, they recognize 4v4 retake, it probably won't work in our favor. So let's go in before the bomb's even planted. Nitro shows the single flash. They delay the plant, and from there they win the round. And look at how many MP9s they bought. 4 MP9s. they potentially think that Luminosity, they'll eco this one, they might not even have an AWP next round, so we can probably capitalise on that even further. This is a very bold call, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is the meat grinder, the paper shredder there in the MP9. The lethality is definitely there if you can find headshots, and Nitro certainly can. The one-on-one, as he will be able to rip his way through Neckers to open this one up. Get some extra cash in his bank account as well. Holds close. Doing his best Bruce Willis impression, Ben. Now he knows what a TV dinner feels like.
Sure.
It's Die Hard.
Nitro still has a HE as well. Surprised he didn't use it towards mid when he was pulling away. Looks like he's thinking about peeking again. He knows, thankfully, he can pull away if he needs to into B and have the support of at least 2 teammates. All he needs to do is just make sure he gets all the information on this side of the map. And from there, they should be able to do something. However, it looks like Luminosity, the bomb is going to be going towards A main. Yeah, land steal. Oh, that's not a good start for sure.
That's not really what you want. Bit of team damage coming out. Ooh, Nitro. Pre-firing the shot there a little bit, wanting to try and go for the nade across. Probably would have killed him if he'd actually committed to it now, but Yale would have fallen back, made his move, goes down. Twistle executing there from the MP9, Ben. It seems like quick work will be made of Luminosity. However, here come the AKs. And the risk you run is the fact it's now 5 AKs versus essentially 5 SMGs and the 1 FAMAS, their friend in the middle from a leech.
So that typically will make you assume they'll go for something quite aggressive, right? And Cash is one of those maps where there's so many avenues of aggression you can go for. You can push 2 through door, 3 B main, 2 A main even. However, based on the way they're running, it looks like it just might be a 2-on-2 regular from them. Twist towards meds. Lucas and Yell towards B on the T side. And they've gone for the double door push. So that was actually with the FAMAS as well, and they're going to leave Nitro right at the end. So this, normally when you go for the door push, you kind of hope that the player who does push it goes the whole way and they get even more info. However, they're going to leave Nitro actually at the cracked wall. And that's a different kind of player. I like it. It means that he'll hear them in A main if they're going there. He'll be able to kill them if they go through door. It's different, and it's some map control. Trying to make use of the weapons that you do have available to you. And after doing that push, Elige is actually swapped with Twist. So Elige can use that FAMAS towards mid, make use of the long range he does have. So Liquid, a minute left. Some decent grenades still left as well. They haven't actually used that much. Although that is not a good start to the round.
No. Yell with the entry against Taco. Naf trying to respond with the MP9. Will find one. Dashes out the molly as well to ignite the corpse and stop the push from coming through. Now Nitro developing something absolutely phenomenal here, but if the timing will allow him to, unfortunately, peeks around the angle ever so slightly, paranoid because he heard the thundering footsteps of the other players, makes a misplay and goes down because of it. The rotate comes back around towards the A site. Big dink in the back of the head there, leaving Yo on 3 HP and Twists. He's lowered them enough that he can actually try and execute against them, Ben. If he would have found that third frag, it would have been a 1-on-1 for Naf. Instead, it's the 1 versus 2 retake.
Oh. Naf, so good, and that's even better. So crisp. And that's the round 14-4 now. Liquid, they kept 4 MP9s into that round and FAMAS.
They still won it.
And that's so crazy, though. And Naf, in the play made towards B, actually. So Taco gets killed. He does the pop flash from Checkers into B main. The player who was there was completely spraying at the angle, fully blind. Naf makes the move whilst that's happening. And he catches the player off guard, gets an AK for free as well, and delays the push if there were any. And those odds, I feel like they should be even more in favour of Liquid myself.
At this point, you've
Surely,
got to
right?
You've got to take it, really. I mean, Liquid just blowing them away round after round here.
A lot of chat going on.
Most likely just a technical pause there.
Yeah, definitely should be the case. And look at Luminosity's money. So ultimately, so Henny, how many kills has he had in rounds they've won? Probably about 9. And otherwise around him, though, there hasn't been much involvement in terms of impact, I feel. Yell obviously had some kills in that round with 3K that they won. Whereas Neckers, Steel, and Lucas not having too much impact, I feel, so far through the game. Luminosity do buy, they recognise we need to get into this game now, otherwise it probably is a loss anyway. And Liquid have got full rifles now available to them. Elige with the AUG. So he used the SG plenty of times in the first half. Now he gets a chance to use the counterpart.
Spray's coming out early on from Lucas here over towards the B site, hoping to just tag someone up. But nothing really going his way. I'm excited to see if anyone will actually try and take the firefight towards mid, just to see if we can see some Elige damage coming out from that AUG.
Yeah, very slow round for Luminosity though. Considering they've got limited grenades, they need to make sure they use them in such an impactful way. So they've used one of the grenades towards B, at the B entrance. Taco playing quite close. Naf also playing towards headshot. They're going to go for the slow play, and the flash did not come through, but Taco, he was so focused on the one kill he could have potentially gotten that Naf now falls because of it as well.
Ah, it's rough as well. This is the round potentially collapsing under the weight of that play. As the rotate will come back around, there should be the frag here for Elige, which he will pick up. Unzoomed as well.
The gun is still capable without the zoom. So this is going to be a 3v3 retake. And there's actually decent grenades available to Liquid. They've still got the Molotov available on Twists. 2 flashes and a smoke. The bomb has not been planted for the regular B main area either. It's a very safe plan. Elige is going to flash both the players in by looks things. Smoke towards B main. Flashes should come through now. Fully blind as well. Lucas gets the kill, thankfully, due to the spray. And he gets a second, nearly a third.
Oh, that was almost the ace from Lucas into the round. That would have been absolutely ridiculous if somehow it would have gone down that way. Instead, that's now the reset. Liquid put into a pretty awful spot as well. No real cash to play with. Naf, the only one with money. The rest of them pretty broken. But they do have a huge lead. Now, the smart thing in that situation is to sort of take it on the chin, rebuy up next time you have money and just play it out from that point. Don't put yourself into an awkward situation, overinvest and throw away those potential rounds. Naf doesn't have a gun.
Yeah, he was passing pistols around, asking what everybody wanted. 3 of them asked for Deagles, one got a P250.
And one wanted the 99 with a flake.
Never was much of an ice cream fan, man.
No.
No. Nor was I a child.
I was born a man.
Yeah, never keen. I'm not a fan of ice cream myself. Bit too cold.
That is the point, normally.
Yeah, no, I don't like the cold. Low investment from Liquid, though. That one flashbang that Naf did have has been used, and Taco does fall in the firefight against Henny. So Lucas and Henny, they both play B on cash normally. They also both play the default picking towards B. So that is usually what happens with a lot of players anyway, because if you know how well to defend your bombs, like, you usually know how to take it yourself. You recognise what positions can I put the player in so I can get the maximum chance of getting them. And Luminosity playing this round so slow, though. They're trying to make sure they get the best chance of winning the round. Looks like they'll be running into Nitro at the A site. Steel catching the rotates, though.
Still with one. Follow up onto the second player and the third. No, couldn't quite achieve it. Naf will be able to get that execution and potentially save the AK here. But he does roam around, started to come up towards the A site, hoping that Nitro would do something to give him an element of surprise, an opportunity to attack. Instead, just play it safe. Save the AK, go through into that next round. The money will start to come back through. Liquid, they can afford to concede a couple of rounds here. They don't need to be overzealous.
So Naf keeps that AK in play. He'll be able to pass this across the Taco if need be. I'm wondering who the AWP will be actually purchased on as well from Liquid, because normally Nitro is the one to pick it up. But Nitro can actually afford his own. But there's actually a few seconds left here. Naf, he's already switched to the Deagle in his hand. Lucas is on the hunt as well. This is going to be quite close. It does get taken down. So that AK not actually going to be in play, and Taco kind of needed it.
Yeah, they needed to save the weapon. Even though Naf has cash, if he would have saved it, it would have been that much easier to actually drop it over. It's still fine, but it just means they're more restricted on nades.
So Naf actually took the hit himself there. He dropped an M4 across. Obviously to Taco because of the money situation. They both play towards B anyway, so I guess it does impact him in a positive way, obviously. And no warp, though. Nitro decides to go for a rifle as well as 4 grenades. Elige back on the AUG. And this is a very fast mid-take from Luminosity, but they're running straight into Nitro and Elige.
Oh, Elige finding the opening kill. Actually just going to reface for more as well, trying to get info. It's ridiculous. Nitro just holding as well, waiting for the push to come out towards mid. Yell will be able to trade it back on Naf. Finds the execution in the opening pick. So they fall into a 4 versus 4 at mid. Everyone's at their battle stations, Ben, just waiting for that next peak to come through.
Yeah, Nitro's not had anything to do, so like, yeah, he's been playing mid close the whole time. But none of the Luminosity players have even pushed that far. And that's a kill towards A as well, but Twists is already there. So if they do not check for him properly, he should be able to capitalize on these two players pushing in. Nitro is finally going for some information, but doesn't go too far.
Twists just waiting to try and drop off the top rope and take them down. Taco attempts to support as well. Twist so close to getting the info. Spots him out, finds the first frag. A bit of a tag onto the second man as well. The rotate will be cut off here by Nitro, and everything starts to fall into place. It's only Henny that remains in a 1-on-2. Slides his way over towards the site. We'll begin to punch in those numbers, Ben, but still the retake is entirely possible. They've got a nade, a Molotov, and a flash. Taco going to be going for the push around. Nitro flashes over, and this should mess with him as well. He's going to focus, thinking they're coming from truck. In reality, both players are there. Demolishes one of them, flashes back over as well to try and delay, faces it. Henny so close, but Taco will win it.
That's surprising as well, because that, with an AUG as well, you're probably thinking the AK wins that spray battle. But Taco, even though he doesn't buy it very often, he's able to use it perfectly fine. 15 rounds now for Liquid. Match point. They've got 9 match points to play with. On Luminosity, you can see the money is a bit iffy on some of the players. Mechas has plenty of money, Lucas and Henny both do. But Yell and Steel, not much to work with. Liquid take a timeout as well. Potentially talk about the buy they can actually go for. So obviously the AWP is already on the floor. Twist support himself. Technically Nitro might need to drop an M4 here for NAF, I feel. Just to make sure that everybody does have armor. That should be the case, so Taco can buy himself. Just a matter of time, really, because he's NAF and Nitro both looking at each other. NAF's actually made the one to take it. Oh, that's interesting. Normally Nitro is the dedicated AWPer. Maybe they're planning to play the rifle towards mid. Well, NAF's going to be AWPing towards B instead, and Henny's picked up an AWP as well, so we might see a battle straight up there. So let's see how that rolls out. A lot of body blocking.
Yeah, everyone running into each other there.
Very unusual, because you wouldn't be pressing to go right when you're running out of that spawn. Which means NAF, I was going to say, he'd be quite delayed into this site, and he definitely was delayed, but Henny was blind.
And that's the bigger picture. He's now in position, so it doesn't really matter about the slow get-go from the spawn. He can smoke out. Henny, only one restricted angle to focus on. NAF just playing from behind the box as well. Waiting for the push to come towards him, will at least be smoked off. So his vision's more restricted. Bit of damage done there, but not too much from the HE. He will start to fall off, repositions back over towards CT.
So Elite actually went for an MP9. I mean, it's quite an interesting one, that's for sure. It's a bold one more than anything else. Luminosity making it quite clear on the map here that they're going towards B. So they're going to be challenging Taco and NAF. NAF still has a smoke available. Taco has a Molotov as well, so that's perfect in terms of anti-rush towards B. Unless they burst it with no flashes or anything, just go in dry, which looks like it might be the case.
Ooh. Flashbang goes around, they peek out. Yell and Lucas get a nice collaboration frag there as they will start to get the entries. Elige is immediately deviating, so that will be the save call made. It makes sense, you might as well. Again, it's a 15-6 scoreline currently. Even when they win this round, it's 15-7. It doesn't matter. There's no point trying to invest everything to win a desperation round when you know you can just eco it out, concede one, get your full buy back, and close it out at another time that suits you.
So quite awkward from Taco enough. They felt like they needed to get the information on the map when they didn't really have the grenades to do so. Obviously, Taco caught out by Henny, really. Obviously, Henny did miss the shot, but the rifle was there to take the kill instead. And NAF, if he landed the first shot, it might have played out very differently. However, he does not. Luminosity get the 7th round on the board. They give themselves a chance at this comeback. It'd be something absolutely crazy if they were able to do it. That's for sure. Keeping all 5 players alive is quite crucial for them as well. Means that they can get the full grenades across the board. Steel actually bought his own AK then, didn't need to. Which means he does miss out on a Molotov. Which might be impactful a bit later on in the round, perhaps. But only time will tell.
15-7 here. Smoke going to go down early on from a lead towards mid, cast out the Molotov towards the boost as well. They've won rounds with 5 MP9s before. This time there's 2 FAMASes there to assist them as well, as they are just waiting for these pushes to come towards them. Can't really try and make a play off the back of the arsenal they've brought to the table here.
It's an interesting buy, that's for sure. They recognised at least if we save 3 people, we probably do need to force back into it because we've got so much firepower already. We must add a bit more to it, see what we can do. 3 MP9s though it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's not your usual force buy. And Yell got a lot of information when he just checked the door just then. Opened it, saw multiple players towards the forklift, which means they have to reposition. Oh, he actually got tagged.
That's rough. That is a big slap. And Steel and Neck is going to find a killer piece as well. So this round developing majorly in their favor, meaning most likely they're going to have to concede a couple more rounds here. Liquid, they'll have to really start to let this game slip away to get back into it at this point. The bomb is down.
Yeah, I was going to say quite late on the bomb retrieval. And they were quite concerned. You can see they're checking every corner because the CT retake hadn't come in. But little did they know, the players aren't actually planning to do it at all. It will be a save. Liquid will recognise at least that that bomb was down as well. So if they had tried to retake the site, they might have had an even battle. So Luminosity go to 8 rounds. They should go to 9, because this should be a Liquid eco round coming in. Especially with that Nitro falling with the FAMAS as well. So we're probably looking at a 15-9 on the next buy round. For Liquid at the very least.
Taco. And the 1 versus 4, just fully committing to the save here, hoping he can get through with the arm of the MP9 and the utility he has. So the unfortunate fact is, though, they are going to be pretty broken for cash. They're going to have to keep conceding these. It makes sense, obviously, it's not really worth the forcing. So giving Luminosity at least a chance to start to get back into the matchup, but the disparity we've seen between these 2 sides when they're both on equal standpoints, you know, 5 rifles, it's been quite one-sided towards Liquid in the majority of those rounds.
Definitely when they've got even playing fields, I suppose. Even equipment, that sort of thing. Liquid have been the better side. But I'm wondering what kind of investment will Liquid go for on that next round? Because they won't have a full buy by any means. It'll be roughly 4,400 on average per player. So it doesn't get you a full buy in terms of utility, which could come back to bite them.
Taco going for the early aggression here, just going to be sprinting straight into his own demise though, as Henny will connect the shot with the AWP, eliminates him instantly, so there's any potential upset factor coming out from the MP9 salvage. Still trying to make a bit of a play here as well, over towards Vents, as he does look to find an opening frag. But nothing will really be gifted to him. Should go down. Naf will be able to punish him with a USP, gets the execution off. Backstab from Nitro is nice. Oh, this is awkward. The response is there, Yell. How has he not killed him yet? Eventually finds that frag, eliminates Naf, but it falls into a 2 versus 3. The Deagle spam coming out from a Liege. But it's not going amazingly well.
You have to wonder how different the round had been if Taco hadn't given away.
Just run in with the MP9, yeah.
Because he had a Molotov too. Like, they're doing decent damage. I know Luminosity probably would have played the round differently themselves. But surely you try and make sure you make use of the armor you already had, the weapon you already had, rather than just going for the crazy influential play.
Oh.
Really hoping to find something out of this. Unfortunately, will not. So 15-9. Team Liquid, you can see the cash, I mentioned it won't be fantastic, but you can get a buy-in. It won't be too many grenades though. And that's the worry they do run with. Because it means that they'll have no kit, for example. So while they do have full 5 smokes, plenty of flashbangs, decent Molotovs, no kit means we can't really play retake. And that's a big worry.
Yeah. It's not fantastic whatsoever. And now we're in a position here where Team Liquid could start to close down the game. Early utility usage is going to be cast out. Henny brought down to fairly low HP. Yell as well, taking a brunt of the damage, left on 46 as this round starts off. Elige is the only one on Team Liquid to actually be tagged, but he's nearly dead. He'll be limping around from this point.
Yeah, so Luminosity get control of mid very easily. Elige trying to make advantage of this zoom that he does have with the AUG. Hoping that blade does jump up, but it looks like they're going for the AUG pick towards highway instead. Steel is covering this angle if he goes for a peek, which means he's doing very well to stay on this angle instead. Although Steel just moved and he actually gets the kill onto Neckers, but Henny gets one towards highway as well. So a 4v4, 2 players pretty tagged on both sides.
Expecting this potential play to develop towards the A site, but instead Luminosity, they back up and they start to reposition. It seems like Lucas has given them the information towards the B site, and they could try and go for this play here. Instead though, Ben, it is the late round take back on A. 40 seconds on the clock. They've got 3 smokes, 2 mollies, and 3 flashbangs to aid them here. And they're not going to have a lot of time left. There are 2 players on either site, but Elige playing from quite far back, actually going down through mid. This could get messy.
Especially when that Molotov comes out, they know the player in sight. Twists. Needs to stay alive, I think, because you can see the rotating from Elige coming through. Taking the fight against Lucas, though. And he gets killed from both sides.
Yeah, they backstab him. The pincer play comes through. It's unfortunate, not really too much he can do there. Elige on the close angle, unsuspected by Lucas, goes down, but Henny will trade it back, pondering the idea of him potentially pushing up as well, focuses all of his efforts on towards main. But there is no push just yet. It's a 3-on-2. The double boost there for Steel on top of Yell. But are they going to go for this? It looks like they will just be calling it quits. There's no kit. There's no time. They're going to have to concede another round. Naf on the exit. Can he do anything? Finds the fadeaway frag on Steel. But as he exits here, Henny should spot him out. He has the angle covered, and we'll find that frag.
So a very unfortunate round in terms of the rotates from Liquid. Obviously, Elige. That one bit of movement Lucas made outside of B managed to pull Elige more towards that B side of the map at the very least. He was originally towards A, wasn't he? He smoked main. He cleared mid and still thought it might be a B play. So we hit 15-10. Liquid, they keep the gun on Elige. But this next round, they will most likely lose unless Elige goes absolutely huge. Should go 15-11. And that's when we will see a proper buy round come through from them. So Elige has been tasked with holding mid on his own. With an AUG, he will be hoping to do quite well, though. So Luminosity, their T-site's been quite slow. It's been quite a methodical way of playing at the very least, playing incredibly slow, waiting for anybody to make an error on the Liquid side, taking map control really slowly. And it's predominantly been the mid control, really. And that's an interesting boost to see. Twist gets a kill whilst on top of, I believe it was, Nitro's head. So a nice little different kind of peak as well, that's for sure, because I've never seen somebody actually do that. It's a very good kill to find, though. That's for sure. Especially as Taco fell towards B, I believe.
It's a 4-on-4. Lucas getting that kill on Naf as he pulls back towards the site. The re-aggression comes out and they're trading. Both teams going blow for blow here. Twist in the close range, man. We know what kind of damage this young gun can do. They've messed the smoke up. The spam coming out from the Deagle, but no headshots. Luckily, Elige is on the scene to cause chaos. And Nitro with a couple of tabs, bringing them down fairly low. This would need to be the 4K from Elige if he wants to end them and win the game here. It isn't doable. Henny strikes back, kills him with the AWP, and we keep on moving. Round 27 now. Surely, this is where Team Liquid close this game down.
This is going to be Liquid's first real buy round in quite a while as well. But you got to be feeling Nitro. He probably should have got the kill there onto, I believe it was, Lucas going into the site. They're so low, but just can't quite get it done. And Nitro, very late to his buy here. He's not... He actually dropped the gun for Elige, and him and Elige, they just didn't drop each other the weapons. So bizarre. So Liquid should be used to this slow style of play by now. They know we don't need to use our grenades as early as we have been. We can slow it down a bit. I'm surprised Liquid haven't gone for a pause just yet as well, because they've had a lot of time to think about it. And that grenade has done so much.
That's huge.
Very good grenade from Elige, but unfortunately a bad peak. But if you think about it in terms of damage done, He's done a decent job so far. And it means Nitro has to give up mid as well. And Twist's having the AWP is an interesting one as well. I'm sorry, we haven't seen Nitro actually have it. It's been Naf and then Twists. Very peculiar. Very different. There's the 3 players out from Luminosity towards mid. 1 player outside B, 1 player outside A. It's 40 seconds now. They need to make a decision. And unfortunately for them, Liquid have kept the hold of all of those Molotov grenades. You can see Lucas moving forward towards B. It might be a B split. That's a really good pick to find.
Oh, shots coming through. Molotov is going to be cast out.
Oh, there's a gap on that smoke.
Twists start to push back up.
Oh, this boost. They're running straight into him.
Oh.
Gets 2, surely. He only gets the 1.
Naf goes down, but Taco will trade it, Ben. And now there's only 2 players remaining. Yell and Lucas. This could be the game. Shut down right here. Yell struggles to find that frag as well. The time goes so low because of it. They have to get that plant immediately, and they're being pushed. If they eliminate Yell here, they will take the game. Yell in a 1 versus 2. He was able to get the bomb down. Fires off a couple of warning shots. The nades are going to be cast out. He's so low. He can't afford for this utility to be going so close to him, especially when the Molotov ignites the entire bomb site, Ben. They're just going to push him together. He will find 1 kill, nearly the follow-up. Luckily, Nitro can close him down, and that will be a 16-11 victory. Luminosity, they kept on coming back, but in the end, Liquid will be able to break them. We'll break this one down after break.
Intel Extreme Masters Chicago is brought to you in part by Intel, AT&T, Acer Predator, HyperX, Betway, and Pay Safeguard.
Here we have it, guys. The highlights of the matchup between Team Liquid and Luminosity. In the end, it was closed down by Team Liquid, Ben, but it was quite a scrappy affair in the last few rounds.
Yeah, if you take it as a tale of Liquid got to match point at what, 15-6? Something like that. And from there, Luminosity, they started getting this comeback going, but you just start to think it's a bit too little too late, perhaps. Like, they got themselves into the game finally. They started playing their own game on the T side. And it was just 2 levels later. Simply put, the CT side was not good enough. Henny was the one surviving, keeping them alive, really. Like the highlights we see here, so many kills on that B bomb site when the time was so low. And from that, Liquid identified, we can't really go towards B. We'll just go towards A, and they took control of that first half so well. Yeah,
they were the dominant force across the board, really. And we saw that, rinse and repeat, until we got into the second half. That's where there was a little bit more fight in Luminosity. They were able to try and get their heads in the game. We saw a couple of nice rounds coming out from individual players, and it really was Lucas and Henny that were the saving grace for them. Yell on the AWP a couple of times now and then, we had big rounds, but a lot of it was inconsistent, and that was the risk you run, you know. It was really only Henny that was popping off with a weapon.
Yeah, it was a weird one, because we saw them go straight to the double AWP.
Yes.
Was it 3-4 times in the first 8 rounds? And the only time it was successful was on Henny. Yeah, we saw Yell picking up time and time again. He finally got around where he was influential with it. But it was, as I said, a bit too little, like too late. And if you keep investing that much money into this double AWP setup, it's going to get to a point where you're going to be hit too hard by the economy difference that you're giving yourself. And it's an interesting one, right? Because it was the first game of the tournament for both teams.
Yeah.
Liquid start so strong, get involved instantly. Luminosity, they finally get in, but it's just like second half, and you're already at such a big deficit. You need to start stronger, simply put.
Yeah, they needed something else behind them there. And we said it had to be the twin show, really, if they were going to have some kind of dominant performance. It was there, but it was only really there at times. It sort of, came and went between halves, showed up now and then, really, at sort of weird intervals. For the other side, Team Liquid just performing through and through. Elise looking very effective. Taco having a monster performance for game as well. Definitely the showman for their side.
Yeah, he's having a really strong game. And, I mentioned all the other players in the team. I mentioned Taco as he's your entry support kind of player. You don't really rely on him to get kills a lot. But this game was completely different. He's landing all the shots that were needed. And it's quite nice to see a game from him like that.
It's true. If we can see that coming out more, it'd definitely be a return to form from Taco, but looking very well drilled in there, being able to help them out, putting them into a good position. I don't know what my hair's done there with the headset, Ben. It's kind of formed a triangle. I've just realised.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
It is an interesting one. Well, after this, we'll finally be stepping into the best of threes. Me and Ben are done for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be subbing in James Banks and, of course, Tom Bismeyer. They'll be back with our best of threes to open it off here on the B stream. We'll see you after the break.